Every year I organize something kind of ridiculous, a camping trip in Moab for nearly 80 adventure-hungry people. It's our annual tradition. We've been doing it for 10 years now. There's no profit, just friends of friends coming together to unplug and get outside. This year I decided to document it. What you're watching is part behind the scenes of the trip and part podcast episode for Stoke Talk, where I talk about how this whole thing started, what it takes to actually pull off a trip like this, and why we keep coming back. If you're just here for the podcast, I've dropped timestamps below, but if you're curious about building your own adventure group or just want to vibe with the chaos, you'll probably enjoy the full thing. Quick shout out to Vancraft for hooking us up with one of their vans for the weekend. It made the logistics way easier. Let's dive in.
Adriel, what are we doing here?
So we're headed to Moab. This is part of our annual trip for our adventure group. We have 80 people going, and it's a kind of an experiment. It's been going for 10 years. And the goal is to build community through adventure. And we're hopping in this guy. Normally I go in my small CRV, but luckily we're able to get this for the weekend. And there is no way all the food that we're getting for 90 people would have fit in my car. So this is like such a lifesaver. We're in the car. We're about an hour into our trip. We are 2 hours out from Moab, chasing sunset, which we won't make, but there's a group of 80 people waiting for us, so we're excited to meet up with everyone. Yeah, and we're gonna film a little Stoke Talk episode of adventure, and I wanted to give some history around the Moab trip and some of the what has inspired me to be adventurous.
Yeah.
James and Lily will be kind of a fun discussion between us all about community and adventure, and so excited to get going.
Yeah, well, one of the things I think is really fun about like this Stoke Talk space, and it's like pretty timely right now, is that this is kind of where your Stoke Talk began, right?
Yeah.
This is where the Stoke began for you. You really started doing this, and so I think it would be cool maybe to get a little bit more of that story of like what inspired you to originally start doing this Moab and Beyond trip.
Yeah, and I'll just say, 10 years ago is when I started. And then fast forward, and I've counted, I have these all listed out. I'm up to about 190 trips that I've planned over the last 10 years, which comes out to about 2 per week, or 2 per month, which is insane,
That's
right?
That's
Yes, I am single, I'm not married, that's why I can do this. But, okay, so your question was how I got into it, right?
What inspired you to do this first Moab trip 10 years ago?
That's right. People might not believe me, but I wasn't very adventurous in college or even before college.
That's really surprising, I think, for a lot of people.
I was very like a studious kid. I was very busy. I would go to, I'm half Japanese, and so I would go to Japanese school on Saturdays.
Right.
And so I missed out on all the camping trips, a lot of camping trips. I went on a couple because of scouts.
Yeah.
I was doing like 2 or 3 sports every season. I would do like basketball, fencing, I do volleyball, I do track, I do cross country.
Wow.
I'd had Japanese school homework, American homework, and I take AP classes. And then I get to college and I kind of realized I had missed out on a lot of the social things. But what really changed was like a year or 2 years before I graduated, I got invited on a Moab trip.
Yeah.
And I had lived in, Utah for 4 years, never been to any national park.
Yeah.
I'm from Washington, and I don't know, the idea of the desert just didn't appeal to me. Like I didn't get it.
Right.
And so I go to Moab, and these really amazing friends showed me around, and it just lit this stoke in me that it just has never gone away. Right. And I was able to do fiery furnace. We went rafting.
Yeah.
We did all these different activities, and that has inspired me to want to be a mentor and also share the trips that I go on with other people.
That's
so
awesome.
This trip, I've been to Moab probably over 20 times.
Yeah.
And it still feels exciting to go because there's something about sharing it with other people that is very meaningful.
I love that.
And because you see it in the people that experience it for the first time, their joy, their excitement, and it becomes part of yours.
I love that.
So
I love
the actual history of the Moab trip was I went to that trip and I was like, I really want to plan a Moab trip.
Yeah.
And I had already been planning I was really good at planning things. I planned game nights and all these crazy, like fun parties and stuff. And I reached out to friends, to 4 or 5 friends, and I asked them, hey, can you invite a couple other adventurous friends that you can invite to this Moab trip?
Yeah.
Right? So they invited 5 or 7, and we ended up getting 50. And,
Whoa.
I don't know if you know this, but you can rent a cave in Moab that fits 100 people.
I did know this.
Did you know it?
I did not know that.
Do not recommend. There's this one story where we're camped and it's filled with mosquitoes.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell great.
Yeah.
And I'm actually camped outside of the cave, the only person. I feel bad.
The organizer outside of his own party.
I know. I was in a hammock actually, and I hear this. Someone is also. My name is Adriel, by the way, Adriel Johnson. I hear this voice. Someone is yelling, Adriel, like, come here, help, right? And I was like, I don't know. Like this is like 1 a.m. and I go over to the entrance of the cave, and one of my friends called out that a skunk had wandered into the cave, right? And everyone is passed out.
Oh no!
And so we actually end up managing to push it out without it, making it, like that would have ended the trip. It would have been horrible.
Yes. You might never have come back to Moab.
There would not be a Moab group for sure. But what was really cool was, as a result of that trip, there was a core group of like say 20, 30 people that really bonded, and we had created a group in Facebook to just share pictures, not expecting it to be anything, but it ended up we just kept inviting each other to other trips, and we decided to make it an annual thing. We planned smaller trips throughout the year, and that's kind of what's led to today. So 10 years later. So
cool.
That's the history of the Moab trip, and
That's cool.
I think a key thing about that trip was that I didn't do it all myself.
Right.
I had actually started a different adventure group 2 years prior to that called Utah Adventures.
Nice.
Did not work
Okay.
because I was doing everything myself.
Yeah.
And the Moab trip, what was different was that I worked together with friends to have them invite their friends. So it was friends of friends.
Yeah.
And that really worked.
Cool. Yeah, a couple of follow-up questions. You've been doing this for 10 years. So, and you just mentioned that you've organized 190 events or 190 trips.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. So I guess my 2 questions are, do you have something huge planned for your 200th trip? Because that seems like a big number. Like 200 seems like that's a big number. So that's question number 1. And then question number 2 is, do you have a favorite memory from a specific Moab and Beyond trip?
There's no specific trip that I'm like planning for 200. I don't really. I do keep count like after the fact. I am looking forward to a big Tahiti trip that I'm doing.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're gonna be
so excited.
Snorkeling with humpback whales, scuba diving.
I'm so excited.
Just swimming with manta rays, and so that will be really fun. But honestly, there's just so many trips that happen that I just lose track.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was your second question?
Do you have a favorite memory from a Moab and Beyond trip?
There was a Moab, or we did it in Zion. We called it Zion and Beyond, but it was a Zion and Beyond trip that we did after, kind of like as the pandemic was starting to finish up.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first big get-togethers that people had in our friend group.
Yeah.
We had 40, 50 people, and I just remember there's this feeling that I chase sometimes on trips, and I think what I chase on trips is it's this feeling of synergy, which is a crazy thought, where you can get 50 to 80 people, and it's hard to imagine that you can all have this, like, But some people really don't like to be in a group of like 80 people, which I get. But there's a special feeling that comes with that, this community.
Yeah.
And we were able to create this incredible feeling of, I don't know, there's like this euphoria. Like we were all so excited to be outside finally together in groups.
Yeah.
And to be able to facilitate that, to bring my friends together, to meet other friends, where they became best friends. Like I think there was actually a couple that met and got married from that trip too.
So you've had multiple then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because Colin was one
from
right. like 2 years ago.
That's right.
And so this is another one.
This is another. Yeah, there's probably been 7 or 8 or 9.
Nice.
You know.
Nice.
I'll bring up one subject, which is, we don't always just do large trips. That's just an annual trip. But
Right.
I think the natural question to ask is, like, why even do big trips? Like,
Right.
why are you so obsessed with it? And the reality is I'm not. Like, I think the goal of every big trip is to make close friendships, to have an opening, to be able to meet new people, and then to be able to go on smaller trips, so you can really get to know people. Because there is a limit to how much you can get to know someone.
Definitely.
But these big trips provide an opportunity to bring adventures together, and that's the ultimate goal, which is I want to not to plan a million things for everyone, but to just give everyone an opportunity to connect.
Right.
So that's kind of the ultimate goal.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, Lily, let's bring you in on this, because Adriel touched on a topic of like bringing people together, and you also are kind of in that space where you organize events and you do these different cool things. So where have you seen kind of that intersection of like bringing people together, doing events, adventuring? Where is that intersection for you, Lily?
That's a good question. I think for me, I'm gonna move this closer. Events are like, there's really big ones, but there's also little ones. And I think this trip is like a very, very big thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have either the stamina or the skills to pull it off. And so we really value people like you who put these big events together. And what I've realized is, like, I have done some really big events, but some of the events that I love the most are just the small ones that are just, small group of people where you can really spend time getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Those relationships just make a difference.
Yeah, that's awesome. Adriel, you specifically with this adventure group, is there anything specifically that you're trying to accomplish? You kind of mentioned like maybe bringing people together a little bit. Maybe it's giving people a taste for the outdoors. What are kind of what's the meta goal that you have in terms of this group that you've done and the 200 trips that you've organized?
So I think the group is always shifting, right? There's no core group. People get married and people leave. People aren't really interested in big trips anymore, or
Right.
like even smaller trips.
Right.
They're dating someone. But what I've realized over the years was that I have made some of my best friends through these trips that I've put together.
Yeah.
And that's like such a powerful thing, which is to have control over something that's so meaningful, right? Like creating community, not being lonely,
Right.
creating best friends,
Yeah.
right? Like imagine, like I think there's a lot of articles and podcasts out there talking about this loneliness epidemic.
Yeah.
And imagine if you didn't have to, like you could be the person dictating whether you were lonely or not,
Right.
And it starts with not thinking about yourself, but solving that problem for other people,
Love that.
right?
Yeah.
Once you start thinking of other people, once you start, realizing other people in the same boat as you, you start serving, I think that's where the magic happens.
Yeah. Love that.
But the other goal I'd say is I would love to integrate more a lot of their married couples.
Yeah.
They're busy, some of them are having kids, and
Yeah.
I would like to create a space where they feel safe
Yeah.
and want to come back, because I think some people might say, oh, like this Moab group is a bit of more of a single group, and
For sure.
it gets me really excited to have a community for that's will be here forever. Like I'd love to bring my kids and be able to hang out with married couples and have like a summer camp for our kids in Moab, right?
You gotta change it, rebrand from Moab and Beyond to Married and Beyond.
Exactly. Like that idea is shifting it from like, oh, this is just a way that singles meet to this is adventurers.
Right.
That we love adventure and that's why we meet.
Right.
And then I think this tagline is creating connection and community through adventure. Adventure is just like a medium of how we create connection.
Right.
And it happens to be one of the most effective ways that I found. And I'll just kind of speak to, I actually think it's one of the most effective ways for guys to connect.
Oh, I totally agree.
Right?
Yeah.
I actually
totally
think about some of my friends from back home, very good friends. We haven't done a great job of staying in touch with each other.
Yeah.
We went to high school, middle school, college together. But the friends that I've met kind of post-college through this adventure group, we've stayed in touch even after they've gotten married.
Right.
And I think there's something here, because like I think guys connect really well with, like, they call it side-by-side
Yes.
or shoulder-to-shoulder recreation.
Yes.
The most common ones are video games and sports.
Yes.
But adventuring fits in this space that like
Absolutely.
solves this problem.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
one thing, and I'd love to hear if you have any thoughts on this, but I don't think there's a trade-off for quality and then time for building relationships and adventuring. So if you go on a 48-hour adventure like we are today, you have both of those things in abundance.
Right. For sure.
So
There's something really special about that kind of peer-to-peer, shoulder-to-shoulder bonding, right? You know, I think of my time when I was on the rugby team at BYU or in college or in high school or on these different things where it's you're just suffering through a long training session, or you're suffering through the weight session, or you're running this conditioning, or you're doing whatever, and you have so much time spent. And I've noticed when I reconnect with those friends, actually, it's like we never left. It's like, and those are some of my closest friends to this day, and it's been 10 years or however long it's been. And there's something so human about that shared bonding experience. There's something so human about working towards a shared goal, and that's what adventuring is. You mentioned loneliness, and there's a great article that you actually sent to me. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago or so. It was in the New York Times, and highlighting the need that humans, particularly men, but I think just everybody, right? That everyone needs this special connection. This, like, we just need to have someone who we know cares. And I think when you're golfing or when you're video gaming, like, yeah, you're spending time together, and yeah, you're shoulder to shoulder bonding, but I don't know if you're really connecting on a human level. Whereas when, like last weekend, we were in Capitol Reef, and completely off grid, no reception, and it's just like we're just there talking about the real things in life, because there's not the Instagram to distract you. You can't hop on TikTok, you can't get texted, there's not a work email to respond to, right? You're completely unplugged.
And I think that's so good for mental health.
Yes.
To just take time to just be so off grid, whether you force it by being in nature or you just like turn your phone off for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's helped me so much.
So I think it's a combination of the shoulder-to-shoulder bonding, and also being unplugged from technology allows you to plug into the real things of life, which I think I really enjoy.
I love this thought, because you're right. Like when I play video games with the boys, or we play sports together, you really only get a surface level conversation.
Absolutely.
Right? One, you don't have enough time to get to the right topics, but it's kind of like guys just aren't very good at being intimate. Well, we're not good at being vulnerable.
That's right.
You know what gets you vulnerable as a guy? It's being on a 200-foot rappel, and your life is on the line.
Literally.
And you are relying on your guy's setup of the rope system to keep you alive, right? And or maybe you're hungry, and you're like, man, we're starving, and you're having this miserable experience together, or something goes wrong on a trip. Like, you are having every kind of conversation So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I love that.
That's such a good connection.
I love that.
So I guess the thing is, go on more adventures,
Yep.
suffer more
Yep.
with the boys.
Exactly.
With the boys.
Exactly. So one of the things I wanted to ask you is, I know, or at least I could tell you how I think I ended up not only in this group but as your friend. I would love to hear how someone can end up in this group or in a group like this. So like, in your eyes, how did I end up here? Because I can tell you how I think I got here.
Okay, so I think what I remember is I had organized a scuba diving trip.
Yep.
To St. George.
Yep.
Which is like not the best.
Wait,
best.
where can you scuba dive in St. George?
So Sand Hollow
In the
has
reservoir.
a diving course.
Oh.
They have like a plane and
There's
a car.
a plane, and you kind of follow this line, right? So
Okay.
it's very planned out. And I mean, we hit a max depth of like 30 feet. Like, we just were not that deep.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
So I think one skill that you have, James, is that you're very persistent, and then you have the down factor, right?
Okay.
When I think about, especially when I'm first meeting people, I think about like who has the down factor, because I'm planning trips all the time, and I'm like, what would be cool to do? And a lot of people that I invite, like I have to follow up multiple times. Like I'm texting them, I'm like, hey, are you coming? Right, it's the day before, and I have just accepted this about people, is that you can't force people to go on trips.
Right.
Like there are so many people that cancel last minute.
Yep.
There are so many people that cancel the day of trips. And it's not, I don't think they even realize it, but there's always an excuse.
Right.
And I don't call it an excuse. I think it's this psychological block where they're not used to saying yes to things. And you're very good at just like, one, saying yes. Because when you get an invite, if you say no once, even for I really can't go, like you have to show effort to show that you're down.
Yeah.
Right.
Because people won't always follow up with you,
Right.
They're like, oh, like maybe James is just a busy person and I'm wasting my time here, right?
Right.
And you've always been really great about coming on trips, and then we've formed a friendship that way, and it's been just really fun.
Yeah.
So, and you're persistent too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
be more persistent. Like always ask to go on trips, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that ask like once, like, oh, let me know when you're doing the canyoneering trip. Like, oh yeah, sure. But there's only so many spots, and
Right.
if you're only asking once, like, I'm just not going to remember.
Right.
So yeah, be persistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you add to that?
I remember, so I kind of got invited to that trip by Austin, our
That's
friend
right.
Austin Heath,
Yeah.
down to St. George. And then like we went scuba diving and we had some fun and we played some games. And then you invited me to Yosemite. I think it was the next weekend, or maybe it was in 2 weeks, but it was like really quickly after. And there are a lot of things I remember about that repelling Yosemite trip. A lot of things. I remember that a lot of things went wrong. Right? We had a car breakdown. We had some drama. There was a rope that got lost. Like,
Is this the one that you guys told me about?
yes. Like,
We won't go into
we're
too
like-
much detail.
like,
I heard about this. It
to
was
get
crazy.
all of the details.
Yes.
Just get
Yes.
all of the details. I just remember seeing like how calm you were and how you just like rolled with the punches, and that was something that I was like, that was for me. Made me want to be a part of it even more, because it we had a goal to do this and we had to take the early out, right? And we had the goal to create such and such and such, and maybe things didn't always work out. And a car broke down and we lost the rope and all these different things. And just to see you and Alex just like take it in stride was something that I was like, these are people who I can just be fully confident in, even when things go wrong. And then it was just like, not only can I be confident in them, but I like to be around that type of person. And so that's how I think I got into this group. Is we had fun once, we went on another trip, lots of things went wrong, but we still had fun because we were all trying to have a good attitude about it.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
We
that's for sure.
did have a good time. Okay, I have a few more questions here
Okay.
written down.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that your first Moab and Beyond trip was asking friends to invite their adventurous friends.
Yes.
Your Moab and Beyond group, as far as I know, is a private Facebook group that has more than 1,000 people on it. I'm actually not in there because I don't have a Facebook. Surprise. But how do you balance this 85-person trip being both inclusive enough to invite people who maybe aren't super adventurous, but also like, I don't want to use the word exclusive to mean like rejecting people, but how do you find that balance, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, so our goal is not to make it a huge public group, and
Right.
we're not advocating that everyone come and want to join.
Right.
In fact, we'd rather just give you the recipe for how to plan a group trip or
Yeah.
make your own adventure group.
Yeah.
Because what I've found, the key to a good adventure group or a group or community is some level of exclusion, or rather some level of like, hey, like this is who we are. We are adventurous people
Yeah.
who we just have stoke about adventure,
Yeah.
and not everyone wants that, and that's
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
right? And people kind of self-filter themselves out.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that we invite people to the group is it's through friends of friends. That is
Right.
the only way that you get invited. The group is not even private, it's secret on Facebook. And I tell people don't like make it super public. Obviously people still invite the one or two people,
Right.
but it's always a good fit because it's through friends.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, you gotta remind me of the actual question.
So that was the
that-
question, essentially, to like, how do you balance inclusion versus, I don't want to use the word exclusion, but
Oh, yeah.
when I was thinking about this question, there's a movie scene that actually came to mind. One of my favorite movies growing up that I would watch usually like during the Winter Olympics or around the 4th of July it's called Miracle on Ice. It's about the 1984 U.S. hockey team that won the gold medal in Lake Placid, right, beating the Soviets. And it's just like there's this scene where they're kind of doing like the tryouts for the team, and the assistant coach goes to the head coach and he's like, you don't even have some of the best players on here. And the head coach looks at him, he's like, we don't need the best players, Craig, we need the right players. And so that was the thought that kind of inspired that question of balancing, like being inclusive, but like maybe limiting is a better word than exclusive, if that makes sense.
There's a good example of a group that does this well, called I think they're called the Wi-Fi Tribe.
You've told me about this.
Yeah, they're a travel group.
Yeah.
What they do is they book month-long
So
staycations in a different country.
yeah,
A bunch of digital nomads go and stay there, right?
So
You spend $2,000-$3,000 as part of the trip, and they have a application process that's very strict. They only admit, I think, like 20% of the people that apply,
wow.
but they've made it so that it's they have certain rules that they follow, a certain vibe, and it's okay to be exclusive in that sense. So there's a book called The Art of Gathering
Yeah.
that talks about how do you artfully gather people.
Yeah.
And one of the things they say is be intentional about who you invite and who you let into your tribe. Because that is actually being kind to the people who are there, and you're able to create
Yeah.
a very special experience overall, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. I wanted to maybe finish up this part of our little podcast by maybe asking, what are 3 pieces of advice you might give your past self if you were going to do this again, or if you were talking to someone who wanted to organize an adventure-centered kind of community-building group? What 3 pieces of advice would you give to your past self, to younger Adriel, or to someone in that spot?
Don't do it by yourself. That's number 1.
Right.
Get other people involved.
Yeah.
I'm actually just doing this now, and I've had other people involved in the past. I think if I had allowed more people to kind of have more input, help plan the trips, they would have felt more or a desire to stay longer,
Yeah.
right? And we're creating a committee right now, and that'll be, I think, really meaningful to people, because people only care as much as the effort they put in to make something happen.
Right.
If you just show up to like one of our trips, it doesn't really mean a lot to you, right? But if you're helping out planning it, then it suddenly is something that you're investing in.
Right.
So that is definitely advice number one. I think about trips in terms of building coalitions, which is kind of a funny business term.
Yep, I like it. Keep going.
So I have built a brand, right, to where I could just toss an idea out there and like, hey, anyone want to do this? And people respond. But even then, when I plan a trip, I always talk to a core group of like 5 to 10 people, float the idea by them, right? I will include them. I'll be like, I'm thinking about, it'd be really cool to plan a trip like this. What do you think, right? Like, is this something you'd want to be involved in?
Yeah.
And this is really helpful for bigger trip planning.
Yeah.
If you can get 5 people like super solid, super down, then the rest will come,
Nice.
right?
Yep.
But I think where people really get scared of big trip planning is when they throw an idea out there. They're like, hey, come to this birthday party, come to this event. Crickets. No one shows up. This is the worst feeling as an event planner.
Right.
I mean, Lily, you're nodding your head, right?
Yeah.
It is scary, and it's this pit in your stomach, and I think most people just stop there, right? And so that's why you build coalitions, you build alliances, you get people's opinion, not just opinion, you get them to plan the trip with you, and suddenly, even if no one else comes, you have 5-10 people that are in.
Right.
No matter what.
Right.
And then the rest, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But if you can't even do that, you don't have a trip, right?
Cool.
So that's number 2. I think what people have to realize about what I've done is that I have planned like 200 trips. And I wouldn't even call myself great at this, but I have been willing to make mistakes. I have put myself out there to fail, and many times. I think that's the only way you get good at something, right? So there are ways to lower the stakes for yourself to where plan something small, build these alliances. But in order for you to get good at building a group, building a good event, you have to be willing to fail.
Right.
And if you fail at nothing, you get good at nothing, right?
Yeah.
And I would actually argue that the only things that you get good at are the things that you fail like 100, 200, 300 times at, right?
I love
So
that.
every trip I'm experimenting with new things, and I will think like, okay, there's this feedback loop, and it's this positive loop of, oh, that didn't quite work, but what about this? And I'm always thinking about what makes the next trip better.
Right.
So try to, it doesn't have to be about events, but it could be about adventures, it could be about a hobby you have. Find ways for you to fail and test things multiple times. That's how you get great at things.
I love that. Reminds me, I think it's a young a Denzel Washington quote where he gave a commencement speech, and he told the graduates, if you're not failing in this next chapter of life, you're not really trying. That's always resonated with me.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that.
Just got here to the campground. Chris, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good to see you.
Did you just get done climbing?
No, I just got here. I was shopping and brought all the food, so.
Did you just get an Osmo?
Oh yeah, dude, your recommendation, so yeah, it's cool. I think it's sweet, actually. Good to see you. You guys are set, right? What are you guys doing tomorrow? Not sure yet?
I'm not sure yet. Probably just hiking for me.
Okay, cool.
Hiking and swimming.
Yeah, that'll be super fun, actually.
What are you doing tomorrow?
I think we'll lead a group. Well, I'll figure out what everyone's doing, but I want to go to Devil's Garden, this one right here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've ever done that hike, but
I've never done it.
it has like
Where about
multiple
you guys?
arches, and I don't think we'll do the whole thing, but we'll just kind of go there and come back,
Yeah.
So once everyone went to bed, I did walk around making sure everyone was okay. I did take a couple pictures. You can see of some of the pictures of camp, both of these campsites, which ended up being really beautiful. You can see the arch in the background. Cool. I did actually go to bed, and then I woke up again at, it was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., just to see where the Milky Way would be. Just wanted to confirm if it was worth taking pictures the next night. And in the last picture, you'll see Milky Way is right in that middle there. It's a little bit faint. So you'll have to check back in to see how those pictures went on the second night.
All right, Adriel. You want to just give us a little rundown of what you're doing and and the kind of the group that you've organized and what we're doing here?
Yeah, so we're currently we're doing our annual Moab trip. We have, you can see out there, we have about 80 people that have showed up. So we're currently making pancakes for everyone, and we do it. This is the 10th annual trip, and we what it is a gathering of adventurers, and it's a friends of friends group. I've always believed in the importance of community. I think there's a lot of people who struggle with loneliness in the world, and I wanted to solve that for myself and for my friends, and as I've done it for 10 years, I've just been able to meet a lot of cool people that way.
Yeah. In the last 10 years, have you ever had a setup like this?
No. This is much bougier than my normal setup. So, I mean, we do have actually burners out there, but we have. This is pretty crazy. Like, everyone complained about sleeping last night, and I was able to get this, van from the Vancraft guys out there, and honestly, best sleep camping. So, and it's like smaller than our RV, right? So you get kind of a better experience overall.
Right on. So you mentioned trying to solve a little bit of loneliness.
Yeah.
Explain kind of how you've approached that philosophy.
Well, I think guys are kind of flawed in the way that we connect with other guys, right? Girls a little bit better about being vulnerable.
Yeah.
For example.
So it's awesome that you've been doing this for like 10 years now. What kind of is the itinerary of a trip like this? Like, what are you going to do today after you finish making these pancakes?
Yeah, so the goal of the trip, 80-person camping trip is kind of overwhelming for a lot of people. And what we've tried to do is create moments where people can connect with other people. Mm-hmm. So the way I think about it is there's these like micro moments when you're in a smaller group setting, right? So a couple things we did, we rented vans, 15-person vans, where people could come and they could be with a group of 10 to 12 people and not feel like they're part of just a group of 80, so they're not alone.
Right.
They make friends, and when they come to the big group, they have friends already. Right. Or we help organize rides, but after this, we're breaking up into smaller groups to do hikes and canyoneering and climbing.
Cool.
And the goal of like a big trip is always to move towards smaller group activities.
Love that.
That's where the connection happens.
Right on. That's awesome. And so people are just going to go and climb and hike and rappel and kind of do whatever they feel like is something for them that would be fun.
Yeah. And we're actually going to make pizzas tonight in our pizza ovens. So the one thing I found is when I used to do these trips, I did it like, I used to tell everyone, bring your own food, it's all on your own. And what I realized was it's very food helps connect people.
Right.
So even though this is a lot of work, like we filled the entire, and thank goodness we had this van, because this would not have fit in my my car, my Honda CR-V. In the past I've tried, it's a mess. In the past I've just done no food, but when we do food like breakfast, people have a time to figure out, okay, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. What should I do? Mm-hmm. They have a chance to make friends. Mm-hmm. And then I just provide like, hey, at 2-3 p.m. we're going swimming here at the river, or so there's just micro moments where people connect and have an experience. Right?
Love that. So you kind of start with a big group, splinter off into smaller groups, come back as a big group, and you use a couple of different things like food to bring people together, a couple of things like the pool to bring people together, where maybe that's more of an easier experience to get people to all buy into. And then how do you organize the smaller events, and how do you make sure that everyone has enough gear and is safe doing some of those things like rappelling and climbing?
So the main thing is I just treat people like adults, right?
Nice.
Like, I'm not here to babysit anyone.
Yeah.
And the type of people we've attracted are people who are adventurous already.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of, I intentionally don't give everyone too much direction. Mm-hmm. I help organize what people are interested in. So,
nice.
We've sent out a survey People can say, are you interested in hiking, climbing, canyoneering? Are you interested in this hike? People can look at the survey, find other people. So it's just about bringing people together in the right way, right? And using food, using experiences as a way to accomplish that goal.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
Nice. No, that's awesome.
Just documenting your epic pancake making skills. Thank you. Queen of pancakes. No, it's great. Oh, hi. Oh, sorry. I'll say hi. Good to see you.
Dude, this is freaking epic.
Do you want fruit and stuff?
David.
Grab the. Morning.
Are you guys climbing?
Hello.
Are you gonna go back and walk
doing
through
it.
Nice.
Well, maybe in the evening. I don't know. If we want to get on horizontal, what is it, mambo?
12D.
I forgot. I don't think I brought my
It just
climbing
looks.
shoes.
It looks
Otherwise, I'd totally cut.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you guys thinking of doing today?
So we're planning to go climbing on River Road, right above the Colorado River, and then we'll join the group in the afternoon.
Okay.
And maybe do some more climbing in the evening. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll go
Awesome. You
climbing,
guys are
yeah.
climbing a ton. That's awesome.
We went last night also. So
Swim the river. That's awesome.
He literally,
I did
I
swim
was
in the
up
river. That's
climbing on
true.
the wall, and all of a sudden I just hear this splash, and he's like, "Whoa!" Jumps in, totally naked.
I didn't want to get my clothes wet.
What? You got naked?
It was
A couple minutes later,
Alex.
some bright.
That's hilarious. I would love to hear from everyone what they're excited for the trip.
Gluten-free pizza.
Free pizza.
I probably was doing some more crack climbing.
Okay.
Because last
good.
night was only my second time crack climbing, and it was a lot
Nice.
of fun. And
Cool.
I think it's always fun to meet new people. And I mean, you know me, I'm down for all of it. So
Yeah.
I just love these trips. So
That's awesome. Okay.
I
Awesome.
think fin scrambling. It'll be really fun. We're gonna go do the Devil's Garden loop all the way
Oh,
out
yeah,
to the
yeah, yeah.
point. Cool. We've
Awesome.
done that one a couple times, but every time it's just like he doesn't realize we get 8 miles in. It's just like, yeah, I've just been climbing over stuff all day.
Oh, that's
You're gonna
great.
Sleep fantastic.
Alex, what are you excited for?
I just love stuff like this where you know 5 or 6 or 7 people and they just invite their best friends and you get to just meet everyone's just closest friends and go do fun adventures with each other.
Okay. James, what about you?
I'm here for vibes. I'm here for the van.
he's just
I'm just the king of vibes.
What a vibe to find him. You know?
Now that he's figured out the banana closet, there's no stopping him. Really quick, what are you looking forward to, or what did he come looking forward to on the trip?
I'm
Yeah.
excited to go
This is
canyoneering some
great.
more.
Okay,
And just like
cool.
see everything. I brought
Nice.
my GoPro, so getting some
Oh, sick.
cool shots, and then meeting more people and
Nice.
exploring more of the area.
Okay, I've been here so many
Harley.
times, so I'm just
Yeah.
so excited to be with new people.
Oh yeah,
You know,
just
and
hang
meet
out.
new people and just see
Okay.
what everyone's favorite
Yeah,
part
I'll
of this area is. But just because I've been here and I know my favorite, so I'm excited to see others. You know?
Yeah. After a quick briefing, we split up into our own groups. Some people went canyoneering, hiking, climbing. It was a choose your own adventure style of activity.
Look at everyone up on the crag.
Well, hello. Coming back already?
She's a pro. I was gonna bring my walkie.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, you want to sit back low when you're going. Yeah, okay. Like that. I mean, no, I have another rope. So you just
Yeah, probably pretty small and very widely dispersed geographically.
Yeah, that's when I first started going there. I was like, yeah, that's
Oh, hey. You're climbing, right?
Yeah. And I like outdoors. So
We're gonna go. We're gonna go to the pool really quick, and then we'll head over to pizza after that. The pool. Yeah, right now. We're gonna. Yeah, pizza dinner. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go do the pool right now. After lunch, a big group of us went to the rec center to go swim in the pool and take showers. Another group also went and played spike ball. Some people swam in the river. Basically, it was choose your own activity until dinner at 6 p.m. I know it's not exactly adventure, but it's still so fun and it's a good break. Our thought behind the pool was to have a little bit more of a chill moment before we go back and make pizzas for the trip. It's a little bit of an experiment, but people have a chance to just chill, relax. So it just provides a different element to the trip. So we're doing it as an experiment, see what people think, but just constantly testing things. So hopefully everyone enjoyed it.
Hey, I come in peace.
No, you don't. Amazing! No way. Here we are. Your first time, what are your thoughts? Wow.
Esther, come here.
You're a geologist now, Esther.
Geologist.
Made it.
Saw like skeletons and we're like wading through water. It was so fun.
Oh yeah, it's flowered. We're good.
The flatter the better. The thinner the better.
The thinner the better?
Otherwise it'll take too long to cook.
Did you flour like under it?
I just found one that was sitting out there, so
Okay.
I took it.
Cool.
It's a hard crust, and then it's easier to.
Oh yeah. The pizza man himself.
Very doughy. Very doughy. Sorry.
The pizza mom.
I saw pineapple.
I know. Your instincts are correct. And yeah, I can't allow it.
All right, Adriel. When we recorded the first part of this podcast, we were on our way here. It was Friday night. We got here pretty late Friday. Basically set up camp and went to bed. That's basically what we did. Tell us kind of how Saturday went. Obviously, we're here now, but it's Saturday evening, so kind of give us a recap of Saturday.
Oh yeah.
And kind of tell us what happened.
So yeah, it's Saturday evening right now. We're making pizzas. We have these two beautiful pizza ovens and just shipping out 80 pizzas. It's great.
Yeah.
But up to this point in the morning, we made pancakes.
Yep.
Had a little get together, and then we broke off into small groups. So some people went canyoneering, some people went hiking, climbing, and then we went to the pool, the Moab Rec Center, to chill. Not everyone did. Some people kept doing activities. Some people went to the river to swim, and now we came here. Yep. So specifically our group, we went hiking to Devil's Garden. There's like a fun trail we could do. And then we did, we went to the Mill Creek waterfall.
Yeah.
Did some cliff jumping there.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun. You'll have to include a clip in here of you flipping off the side of the wall. You kind of ran, flipped sideways, and then landed in the water, which was
very
pretty
sketchy.
epic.
And you did a great backflip.
Yeah.
We'll include that too.
Yeah, one of the things that
we
kind of talked about is like, how long are we're getting a little old to be doing.
Oh, I know, right? How many years can I do this?
Yeah. But yeah, so how do you feel like this trip has compared to others?
Hold on, let's talk to him. Hey, everything all right? Okay, whatever. Okay, what were we talking about?
We did the first part of the podcast last night
Yeah.
when we were driving here in the van craft, kind of explaining kind of the origin of Moab and Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of explain to us what today was, what its purpose was, and maybe how you feel like it went.
Yeah, so our goal, for the big Moab trips are to bring friends of friends together. Right. So I started off inviting a couple friends, 5 to 10 people, and I asked them, hey, like, do you have any friends that you want to bring? And we'll post it on our groups, and then people slowly invite their friends. And there's just something really exciting about meeting other adventurers that have the same goals and things that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
They have that same kind of outlook on life. And so that's the goal. And so even though there's a big trip, which can feel intimidating, overwhelming,
very much,
we try to organize it in a way where people connect in small groups throughout the event. And then there's these moments when there are big gatherings together, right?
Yeah.
So small group examples are when we make breakfast and everyone is helping out making pancakes and mixing and cutting, bananas and strawberries, or we're making pizzas. The small group activities as well, where you're in a group of 10 people or 8 people, or you're doing a canyon. Those are just super important for people to just feel like they belong. Actually, we rented 2 vans specifically for this purpose, where it was like 15-person vans, and I just thought, I think it would be a really great bonding kind of idea.
Yeah.
And we'll have to talk with everyone to see what they thought about it. But
definitely,
you write up for 3-4 hours with someone, or 5 hours throughout the day. You eventually just find friends right. At the event.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's kind of this interesting balance where some people want to have control over when they get here, how long they stay, when they leave, and also building that community where people don't just ride down with their friends.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that was a really good idea. One of the other things that you did this year that you haven't done in past years is you included time specifically at the rec center at the pool.
Oh yeah.
Kind of explain what was maybe the real reason for that.
So, you would expect a really adventurous group to not go to the rec center and spend time at the pool, but
just shower in the Provo River, rinse off in the
some
Colorado
people did
River
instead of going to the rec center.
Yeah.
And I think the key thing is we're always experimenting with different ideas through the trip, and this idea specifically made sense logistically, because when we're hiking in arches or doing a canyoneering, people are hot and they're sweaty and they're just at that point people just want to go home.
That's me.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead of staying another night. And I knew that it's important because this is more about meeting people and less about hardcore adventure, you'll be able to do those later on when you meet them. This trip was about a balance of a hardcore, medium-sized adventures and then relaxation. And I mean, I think everyone really enjoyed the time at it felt good. You just need a balance. Oh, okay. I actually have this philosophy around trips where if you can get to a trip and you're able to have time by the fire, right? You have time for a fire. You have time for games, card games at night. You have time for, it's not just go to bed, right? Roll into your sleeping bag. That's a successful trip because you've actually planned for different types of experiences. They're all important to have this feeling of, I don't know, I'd call it serotonin.
Yes.
Right? Okay, I actually want to ask a question to you, which is, of all the things that we did, Friday, Saturday, like what did you enjoy like that stood out to you?
Yeah, honestly, like I love just laying by a pool. That's like one of my guilty pleasures in life. I just love being by the pool. And so like, yeah, we went and did a hike, got a little sweaty. I enjoy the cliff jumping. Really had fun doing that. But then being able to just like feel like you're a little bit cleaner, go to the pool, take a shower after, and just feel like, hey, like, yeah, I don't have to go home to take a shower and then sleep in my own bed because I'm clean. I don't feel gross. And I think that for me has been, that for me was really, really enjoyable.
Love it. And I mean, I'll note, this year we have the guys over at Vancraft let us borrow their van just for the weekend, which is crazy.
So nice.
Luckily, we had the rec center, but in a case when we don't have that, like they do actually have showers, sometimes inside or on the back. So I'm thinking like, I mean, that is perfect for an outdoor trip, right? But yeah, I think the getting clean is actually important to a lot of people.
Yes.
Maybe some people don't care, but
yes. No, you recently just mentioned that one of the things that you like to do is kind of have a balance of adventure and like maybe serotonin in your trips. And as someone who's been lucky enough to come on a bunch of your trips, I think about doing that in Havasupai. I think about doing that in Italy, where we kind of had a couple of days of go, and then we had a couple of days of we're on this yacht sailing across the Mediterranean, right? Like we've done that in Cozumel, where we had a couple of days of scuba, and then a couple of days of like, let's just relax, right? And so I think you do a really good balance of balancing the adventure, which we all love, with the recovery, which we all need, and which we all really enjoy after the adventure.
Well, and I'll add one thing. Some people
please.
only have one mode, right?
Yes.
And what I've learned over the years is that, and I used to be that, like, there are times for, we call it type 2 adventures.
For sure.
Right, and it's, in our case, right, not always, it's like the boys, and we're going out and we're doing like heaps, or we're doing this insane canyon, and we're okay sleeping in the dirt, we're okay not showering. And this is a different trip. And it's okay to admit that, hey, like, we care about, because the worst thing on a trip is for you to, I mean, I think this happened to Yosemite. We came home from this big canyon, 12-hour canyon.
Huge.
We were cranky,
hungry.
We were dirty, we were hungry, and we were trying to make all these decisions. And we just had to say, hey, we're not making any decisions until we eat.
Yeah.
And that's what like the resetting helps us do.
Yeah,
right?
no, I love that. You mentioned that this trip is maybe different from some of our other just type 2 trips, or like seeing the world trips or other things. And a couple of things have made this trip different. We have the Vancraft, which has been awesome. We also decided to do pizzas this year versus last year we did burgers. And I think the year before we did burgers.
Yeah.
So maybe say, like, what was the purpose of the pizzas? Like, why pizzas?
I think with burgers, I don't know, I'm crafting experiences for everyone, right? And a pizza, as we saw back here, and we have some footage of it, maybe we'll show it, it's very collaborative. We need people rolling the dough. We need people putting the sauce on. We need people decorating the pizza, and then we need people cooking it. We need people cutting it. And it's not about the end result, even though it's really good.
It is good.
It's about the process and the small interactions that happen. And so we thought about that intentionally of, we want this experience. Let's experiment with it. Sometimes it doesn't go well. Whereas a burger is super greasy, it's really good, but it's like one person is grilling the entire time, and sometimes you swap out, and it's not a equitable, like, people don't have the same experience, right? So we'll have to ask everyone what everyone thought about the pizzas, but I would say it went pretty well.
Yeah, I think it did. And one of the things that I think I've noticed about your trips is the intentionality in which you plan them. You say that your trips are disorganized. But
in my mind.
In your mind. And I think that's what I'm here for, to help offload some of that disorganization.
I appreciate it, James.
Let me run to the
I'm
store.
an idea person. I'll put it out there.
Let me run to the store and pick up all of the things that you forgot.
God, there was like, and I send multiple voice messages like, actually, James, grab this. Actually, James, don't do this. I'm sorry.
You and I have such a strong bromance as we demonstrated going up that waterfall today that it's
I hope someone got that on film.
I really hope so.
Well, that's Lily.
But one of the things I think I really admire about kind of the way you do your trips and the way you plan is the cultivation of small moments. And that's one of the things I actually really admire about you is you have an incredible ability to stop and smell the roses. I remember when we were in Rome, we had gone to see, I don't even remember what we had gone to see, if we had gone to see the Colosseum at night or whatever, but it had been a full day in Rome. It was dark. And so it had to have been like 10 p.m. or later, and we were walking back to our Airbnb. My feet hurt so bad. And you kept stopping to take pictures of people in front of Monique or of Natalie or of me in front of these different iconic things that are in that great city that is Rome. And that's one of the things I just really admire about you is you're really able to stop and smell the roses. And I think that what makes this trip so special is you try and help other people stop and smell the roses and see the beauty not only in the nature, in the surrounding, in the activities that we do, but in the people that surround them. And yesterday we talked a little bit about loneliness, and I think that's one of the ways that you combat maybe your own personal loneliness, but help people kind of work through and navigate their own experiences of loneliness.
True. Yeah.
So let me just kind of move on and wrap up with this. What are the things from this specific trip that you think you will replicate in the future? Is it the van craft? Is it the pizzas? There are things that are kind of hallmarks of a Moab and Beyond trip, the morning pancakes, the small group activities. But what are the things that you want to replicate specifically from this trip that you haven't done before?
Well, we talked about we should get like 4 friends and go in on the van crafts. I mean, they're pricey, but it really makes for an amazing weekend.
It really does. It's phenomenal.
I enjoy the camping, but
something about sleeping on a mattress inside is really nice.
Like last night, there were so many people that couldn't sleep, right? And like it was windy, and I didn't feel guilty at all because I was so tired, and I was still got enough sleep to be able to wake up at 4 a.m. to take pictures and stuff, which we're gonna do tonight again.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that'd be fun. We'll see if that's even an option next year, but I think the pool was actually a really great way to unwind. In the past, we've done like floating the river.
Yeah.
There's so many logistics that go into that because there's liability. And then even though you're in the water, it's like the silty red water, so you get dirty. You need life jackets as well, legally, which in the past we have not done. So we would have to do that in the future. Other things, the vans were really good. I wish I could experience it myself too, because I'm like running around doing stuff, but I'm glad that it had a good people had a good experience with it.
There are kind of 2 features that the vans have.
Yeah.
Is one, it keeps people here longer, which individuals might find as a flaw, but I think for the overall group purpose, that's a feature.
Yeah.
And in this specific situation where we had a very limited number of parking spots, that also helped get 30 people into 2 cars.
Reason.
So that was a huge reason why we kind of had to do that one. Had to do it this way.
Yeah, I agree. That's actually something interesting is if you camp like an hour away from your home, like on the second night of camping, there's always this debate of whether we should drive home and just sleep in our beds, no matter what, right? And in some ways you could say that it's a goal to camp more than 3-4 hours away, because that means it's way harder. Because there's a conversation happening among many people here, and I don't blame them, where they're like, "Oh, should we go home tonight?" Right? And every year, this is just my own personal challenges. I know that no matter what I do, people will go home a Saturday night, right? The second night. And I've just made it a challenge to myself to like, how can I create an experience that makes people want to stay?
Right.
And it's so hard. And I love the people that are willing to stay, because there's this acceptance of like, no, we're here for the full experience. We don't want to show up at home at night, 1 a.m. and go to bed. Like last week when we were camping in Capitol
Yeah.
Reef, this debate happened. We were like, oh, we could go home, but we stayed, and it was an amazing.
It was
what do you
awesome.
think? Like that was a great experience,
I
right?
mean, I told you when we were debating that, I was like, my personal preference is to stay.
Yeah.
But I'm just here for the vibes. If the group decides to go, then like that's what the group decides.
Wait, I do actually have a thought on that.
Go.
This is actually something, even in Italy where we went, or Moab, it's a good question, which is like, how do you navigate differences in opinion when it comes to important trip decisions? And in my opinion, the way I've navigated it is you shouldn't pose a question to the entire group. Hey, what should we do this? What should we do in this situation? Because there's actually this principle in The Art of Gathering, the book. Every event planner loves that book, and if you haven't read it, it really is inspiring.
Fantastic.
Like, how do you put together great gatherings? And as the trip host, you have a responsibility, she calls it being a benevolent dictator in the group,
Yes.
where if you relinquish that responsibility, people don't know what to do, and it opens up the group for other players to come out and distort the purpose of the trip. I'll give you an example. So it's like, you don't want to be a chill host is the thing, like at a party, because if the host is busy in the kitchen during the cooking, then everyone else doesn't know what to do.
Right.
Which might be what's happening right now. But we get to have a break every once in a while. And so in that situation where we need to make a decision, I prefer to individually talk to people. So I appreciate your individual text, but talk to people like, hey, Alex, what do you think? I'm thinking this, but wanted to get your opinion. That shows respect to the person, and you start getting this feedback. And even if you had to give them bad news where it sounds like most people want to do something else, they realize that you have taken their opinion into consideration and you're making the best decision for the group.
Yeah.
But if you throw it out to everyone, it's not going to go well.
Correct. Yeah. No, I think that's right. Kind of using that Italy trip that we did last summer as a reference. I wanted an extra day in Rome, and I wanted to go see David in Florence. And so Monique and Alex and I, that's what we did. We took away one day from the Dolomites, and then we just caught you the next day. And I don't have any problems. If I was doing the trip over again, I would do it exactly as I did. Maybe leave Rome a night, instead of in the morning, the night earlier.
Okay.
And maybe just move things up ever so slightly. But there was a difference of I wanted to see David. Most of the group wanted to go to the Dolomites for an extra day, and they were kind of, I don't want to say competing interests, because it's not like I was going to do it come hell or high water.
Yeah.
But it was kind of this attitude that we had of we need to make sure that if it doesn't it had to be enough of a critical mass for me to be able to do it. So it couldn't be just me. It had to be Monique and Alex and James all want to do this, because if not, then there's just not enough of a critical mass to be able to organize the trip around one person's needs. And I think that when you're going on a trip like this where we do have competing interests of some people want to climb, some people want to rappel, some people want to hike, there has to be a critical mass of people who are willing to do that, and there has to be a willingness to be flexible around stated goals going in.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why, kind of hearkening back to a theme we talked about yesterday of inclusive, but perhaps the best word for this is judiciously inclusive instead of exclusive. There's definitely a way to be judiciously inclusive, where if someone has to have the trip in their format, then this just simply isn't the trip for you.
True.
And these group trips aren't the trips for you. You can organize your own trip, I suppose. And so having enough humility to be flexible, understand that things will go wrong, understand that you'll miss things, understand that stuff just moves on trips, in canyons, whenever. I think that's a really good way in which you're able to kind of touch on, do you want to stay an extra night? Do you want to do this instead? How about this? And then you as the trip leader can maybe say, this critical mass can go do that, this critical mass can go do that, this critical mass can go do this, and then you can kind of reconvene here.
Yeah, and I'd add to that and say, there's probably multiple times throughout the trip today where we changed some things.
Definitely.
Like we were going to do some hike, and then we realized, we're not here to just do hardcore stuff, like as at least the host. But we decided, okay, let's shift to a different hike.
Yep.
Because that's where people are headed. That's where the energy is going. And so we kind of made a pivot. And I was glad that we did.
I had a lot of fun.
It worked out. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we got to spend more time with people.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing something on our own. So I think being flexible, or at least considering things, seeing what the right decision is very important for our trip.
Well, let me wrap up with this, Adriel, for this, at least this part of the podcast. You've done Moab and Beyond for 10 years. Mm-hmm. You kind of described how it began and how we got to here. Where do you see Moab and Beyond in 10 years?
So, I hope I'm like married and have kids by then. But we have a lot of people that have gotten married and have kids in their group, and they don't come as often as before, and that's natural. They're busy, they have kids, but I want to create a group that's inclusive for couples, even while I'm single, because I think a lot of times singles and married couples don't always interact well together, or they don't know how to, and I want to bridge that.
Kind of goes back to that competing interests, right? Like
competing interests, yeah.
Maybe the married couple has smaller kids who can't go do these hardcore canyons.
Yes.
Maybe they need to be back for, all these different things. Exactly. There's the babysitter. How are they going to watch the kid? There's a logistical difference there. Yeah. And so you have these competing interests, and those are even harder to bridge than I'd rather go rappelling than rock climbing, for example.
And to be honest, I don't know how to navigate that yet. And my first thought is I'm going to include the couples that want to be involved, and
I like that,
and just get their input.
I like that a lot.
Maybe as we create committees and stuff, just get them involved, because we want them. We love hanging out with them, and I like to think that they also like to. But it's also like creating community for the couples too. Like I'm interested in doing that because that's what I want in the future for myself.
Yeah.
Have a summer camp for kids.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That would be awesome. It would certainly be something to have our friend group and have our kids just like learn all of these skills. I'm lucky enough to have gone canyoneering with one of my old professors from BYU, Dr. Colby Wright, shout out. He would bring his kids canyoneering from the time they were like 10 or 12 or 14, and we would go do these canyons together. And seeing them grow up in the canyons and seeing how responsible they were, how able they were, how just resilient they were. I think one of the things that I love about adventure is I love what it teaches people. I love the relationships that it gives you. And I think that those would be amazing to pass down to a next generation. And so when you talk about, doing a summer camp for kids, that's something that I think would be hugely impactful, not only for kids, but not only just for the kids, but for their long term. It'll get them off TikTok. It'll get them off their phones. It'll get them off the video games and into the experiences that is real life.
Yeah.
And so I think that vision is awesome. I think it's awesome.
That's awesome. I agree.
All right,
I'm excited.
Man. Well, let's. I think this is a good stopping point for this part of the podcast.
Awesome.
And yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Is this everyone? Chris, hurry. Wait, I gotta do a quick video. Is that okay? All right. There we go. Let's go.
A group of us got up around 3 a.m. to go take some Milky Way pictures. We didn't realize how little time we had because it was only after an hour that we started losing just the darkness overall and sunrise started. And so we were running to the other end of the camp where we wanted to get some other pictures. We were a little bit too late, but we did manage to snap some of these cool pictures at the end.
30 seconds on Milky Way.
like, we heard the birds chirping. We're like, crap.
Because we only had like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was so quick.
Shuffle, shuffle.
Hi.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. We love you.
Actually, bye.
Everyone.
Is this the better van?
Yeah.
Is
This is the higher law right here.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Missing out.
Choose the right van next time, I guess.
That's all I gotta say.
Thing, what was your favorite part of the trip? Quick.
When you did a
Favorite
backflip.
moment? Oh, cool.
Delicate arch.
Seeing the romance between you and James.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Canyoneering, meeting new
Nice.
friends.
Okay. Nice. Pizza making. Favorite moments?
Rock climbing.
Rock climbing?
Bus driving.
Nice. Thanks, David. All right, well, you guys drive safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Adriel. So we're kind of wrapping up this weekend. How do you feel like the whole trip went? How do you feel like the whole experience was?
It was good. I feel really good about the whole trip. It's always a good feeling at the end where it all comes together and it's like, okay, now we have to just go home and clean everything. Yeah, it's always a good feeling. The way I kind of think about these trips is that this is kind of the ignition, the spark, right? You're just stoking the fire, so to speak. And as we all go home, now we have a chance to do follow-up events and activities. So that's going to be a lot of work, and I think really excited for that.
Yeah.
But I think everyone had a good time. We got everyone's feedback afterwards, and everyone said they enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, right on. Are there any specific things that you feel like got thrown out there? Any specific trips or adventures or just activities that you heard either people talking about or that you got invited to or that people kind of mentioned?
Not exactly. I think I was just busy running around the whole time. I mean, we did talk about we're going to go rappel, do some canyons, rappel with some people. Did we talk about scuba diving? I don't think so. But we will do it.
Yes.
I think the more important thing is that this is the fuel that we need to like plan the follow-up events where we'll do the actual planning of the more smaller group stuff.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And do you feel like the connections that were made, do you feel like that those goals were kind of met like the way that you wanted them to be met?
I think so. I think better than most years, actually, compared to last trips.
Nice.
If I had to kind of list what made it really successful, the vans were really nice. We did also a couple of pre-events, like a dinner, and we hung out at a restaurant, so people got to meet others. And then we also, the vans were nice because people were able to be in groups. I actually really loved the pool time because everyone got to relax.
Yep.
And then the dinner, the pizza party, it was chaos, but everyone was helping. And so I think it went well.
Yeah.
Like everyone just was interacting and there was no, you had to be the most introverted of introverts to not really connect with anyone this weekend.
Right on.
So
perfect.
Great.
Cool.
Thanks for sticking around to the end. Go ahead and check out our YouTube channel and podcast, Stoke Talk. I'll be interviewing multiple other adventurers along the way. I'd love to get your feedback and just share some of the adventures that we're going on.